Hello everybody, welcome to my brownie making video. I'm gonna share with you guys my recipe, so let's start. For this brownie, we're gonna need 250 grams or half a pound of 100% dark chocolate, a little bit of sweet chocolate for decorate, white chocolate also for the decoration, cocoa powder, baking powder, some cacao nibs that I use for mixed with the dough of the brownie, but if you guys don't have access for the cacao nibs, you guys can find nuts, or if you guys like, you don't have to use it. Flour, sugar, 4 eggs, and 250 grams of butter. We need some pots. We will have to use this type of mold for making the brownie. I recommend this kind of metal than the Pyrex. I don't really like Pyrex because the brownie doesn't get flat. Something for measuring our ingredients, knife for cutting the blocks of chocolate, something for filtering the powder and the cocoa powder, and some spatula for cutting the brownie. Better if you have this type of molds, if you use some wooden or plastic spatula. We will need to use some boiling water in a pot for melting the chocolate, for decorating, and also for making the dough of our brownie, and some wood oven, which is very important. So let us start with the preparation. Okay, the first step is making the double boil, so it means the water boiling with the top floating on. So we're gonna have to cut the butter and melt this. 250 grams, in the case of United States, is half a pound. Okay. And we're gonna have to move it until make it melt. So we can just let the butter there melting, and in the meantime we're gonna cut the chocolate. Yeah. Take care that don't cut your fingers. And with the knife we're gonna cut. Some companies already sell them in drops. When the butter is melted, we're gonna add the dark chocolate. How I told you, 250 grams. And we're gonna let it melt, moving it slowly. When the butter and the chocolate are melted, we're gonna mix this with the sugar. So it's gonna be 1 pound of sugar or 500 grams of sugar. We're gonna mix this. You guys will notice the sugar is gonna be mixed, but the texture is gonna be pretty sandy because the sugar doesn't melt on the butters of the cacao and the butter. So then when it's enough cold, we're gonna do 4 eggs. So now the eggs, when the dough is cold, we're gonna do the eggs. It's gonna be 4 eggs in our brownie. Mix this until have our brownie ready. Okay, now our dough is ready for mixing with the flour, but before we're gonna use baking powder, just this much, not so much, a little bit. We're gonna mix the flour and then create the brownie dough. Taking care that don't make a mess in your kitchen. We're gonna mix this slowly. There we have ready our dough. So now the next step is prepare the superficie for baking the brownie. Okay, so this is my favorite part. Some butter. We're gonna cover every single part where our brownie is gonna have contact, or this is not gonna be burned. and it's gonna be easy for take out the pieces of brownie from our mold. I'm gonna put some flour. We'll prepare the brownie for and the excess. Yeah, and it's ready for the dough. It looks awesome. This recipe very simple, something that you guys can make in home whenever you guys like. It's really good for friends meeting, for having very special parties. Don't worry about the form, because in the oven it's gonna get flat. It's gonna become to be more liquidy about the temperature, and then it's gonna start to be like crunchy outside and smoothie in the center. How was the typical form of the brownie? So with our oven ready, put the dough inside and enter when it's ready.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time! Here we have our brownie ready. Ready to make it. Oh my goodness.
So now, how you guys see, it's time to make it, cool it down. Okay. Put this those of the window. Don't worry if it's like this, it looks like it's crushed. That is normal. You can see the texture is crunchy outside and smoothie inside. This is how our brownie has to be. This line, when you prepare the dough from the mold, it seems that it's ready. Smells awesome. So let's wait until it gets cold. After this, you guys can eat the brownie in this form, but I prefer to decorate this a little bit, and I'm gonna show you guys my form of decoration. Okay, now we're gonna grind a little bit of sweet chocolate for decorate our brownie, and we're gonna melt this in double boil. Okay, so let's melt the chocolate into the double boil. Okay, we're gonna melt the chocolate. Okay. See how creamy it becomes. We're gonna cover the chocolate. It's ready. Just a little bit for decorate. Now we have our brownie. We covered with the dark chocolate, sweet dark chocolate. We're gonna use the powder.